Test 1, 2, test. All right. Good morning, everyone. I see a lot of people, but there's no sound. Why? Good morning, everyone. All right. Okay. Hopefully you didn't fall asleep after the short tea break. Supposed to wake you up, not put you to sleep. Okay. Anyway, we have a very exciting panel over here. But before we go into individual one of them, just a show of hands. Maybe some other speakers asked you already, but let me know you a little bit better as well. How many of you are already in e-commerce, doing something on e-commerce? Great. Keep your hands there. Those of you that are doing e-commerce globally, so you have global customers, how many hands? Cool. And how many of you want to go global? Awesome. Okay, so this panel is catered specifically for you, right? So before I go into the first question, maybe all of you can just take 1 or 2 sentences, maximum, 1 or 2 sentences, just to do a quick introduction by yourself.
Me first.
Sure.
I built FITGEAR, OXWHITE. After that, before that, I failed for business. So now the founder of FITGEAR and OXWHITE. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hadi.
Okay. My full name Noraslan Hadi Abdul Kadir, but don't worry about the long name. I go by my middle name Hadi. Been with MATRADE for the last 15 years. Before that, I was with private sector for 14 years.
Phang?
I'm Phang. I'm from Cytron, and we have been doing this business since from the day in UTM. We are doing this for around 15 years. We've been doing this for the past 15 years, and we have started to go global, I think, a few years ago.
Nice. New?
Hi, my name is Yu. I'm from Exabytes Digital. Exabytes Digital part of Exabytes Group as well. We are digital marketing agency, and now we are partnered with Alibaba.com as well.
All right, so let's just go straight into it, yeah? How do one business actually know that if they are ready to go global? I mean, you see the number of hands. Many are already in e-commerce. They are in business. But somehow when the question asks of how many of them are going global, the number of hands dwindle, right? But there's a huge wanting to do that. So how does a business actually know that I'm ready to do it?
When you are so desperate to earn USD, then ringgit.
Desperate to earn the currency. That could be one motivation.
I think the good timing, me first lah. So the good timing is you realize your backend stuff, I mean the products and supply chain is ready for global. Because I think the front end, right, for website distributions, right, is quite spontaneous. You can change it within 1 month. But the backend, like you are selling mattress, going global probably is a bit difficult. Yeah, because I know Sono, the brand in Malaysia, is very focused, go deep in Malaysia. Mm-hmm. So products, supply chains, and the back end, your team is ready.
Okay. Is there anyone? Yeah.
I think certainly it's very valid question. Certainly before you go global, you need to understand where are you now. In MATRADE, we do have a tool, online tool that we created. We call it Export Assessment Readiness Tool. Yeah? It's 23 question survey. You just answer honestly, and then this survey will indicate to you whether you are ready or which stage of your status that you are in. And this tool to me is very powerful because it has been used for the last 35 years by exporters in America. No? So we use the same tool. We try to adopt it to Malaysian environment. So make use of this tool. It's online in MATRADE portal. If you are a member of MATRADE, certainly you be able to access this one. So answer honestly. For each of that 23 questions, it will give you a good overview in terms of your readiness. Talking about your management commitment, talking about your product or services readiness, talking about your readiness in terms of your resources. Yeah? So for each of the answer, there's no right or wrong answer. So you answer honestly. For each of the answer, it will come up with an indication to you. If your answer is A, what does it mean? If your answer is B, what does it mean? So at the end, it will total up your score. So it will tell you where are you in your readiness. Yeah. So I would advise for a start because it's a free tool. Yeah. And make use of it. Yeah. If you have any question, we can talk into detail on this part later. But this is what the first that I wanted to advise first.
So the key word is to answer it honestly, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Phang.
I think that MATRADE have already told you all when is it ready. Even have a survey for you guys to go and fill it out. Initially, I wanted to say that you have to understand yourself. But since now, easier way to understand yourself, just fill up. No need to even understand yourself. Just go and fill up the form. Then, okay, answer, done. But I would think that it's better that you look at the market in Malaysia first. If let's say that your company can grow in Malaysia, why not grow in Malaysia first? Grow it until the point where you can you see the growth is stagnant. And then it means that Malaysia's market, almost you outgrow the market, and then only you go global. Because always in Malaysia is far easier than going global.
I think all got the points. And for us, we are a digital company, so we are more towards the data. So let's say, for example, you guys have a product, a good product, but your website's actually not ready for global. So how you can go from there? You ask yourself, how many domains that you own? Let's say you have .com, .com.my, or did you really have any other extension or not? And your website, is it e-commerce website? And what product you can scale? And let's say, for example, mattress, let's just now, OXWHITE also share, let's say mattress, go global. So if you want to sell mattress online, or you want to do the mattress like you're looking for, the buyer in bulk. So in bulk, they have different platforms. And for B2C, we also have different platforms. So you have to get ready everything. But the first thing first is website, domain, and all the payment gateway, and all things on SEO, whether it's there, people can find you or not. So if the customer can find you online, means that and all of your website, even all the title subscription or meta title, everything is ready. And this is the time for you to start advertising global. And how to go globalization? First thing is, I think about digitalization and digitalize everything about your business.
Looks like there's a common theme, right? Well, I think all four of you are talking about readiness, whether it's readiness of back end, readiness of self, readiness of product, readiness of your exposure online and all of that. But let's just tackle this question once and for all. It's actually going global even for every business out there. Or is there some businesses that actually you don't really need to go global? I mean, you said a good point, right? Why don't you just conquer Malaysia first? So in that case, how would I know? I mean, is it really for me?
Business model game, stay local. Products or e-commerce games or to consumer games, go global. I think we are in Malaysia, but think ourselves as a Singapore company or as American company. The first day they'll think global, because it's Singapore, right? What you can sell, right? So the first day think global, then your market is worldwide. What I say, business model stay local because business model game need to go deep. Like Lazada, Shopee, all this kind of need to go deep. But for product games, when doing e-commerce game, go global means that this is your chance, this is your market size. In the past 30 years, products and marketing, nothing changed. Products is the same, shirt is still shirts. Marketing is still marketing. People still break mortars and telling stories. The only thing changed is the distribution, the way we do distributions, right? Now we have Facebook ads. One click can go global. This is the only change in the past 30 years. Why not tap on this advantage? That's the thing.
So if you're going to go global from day one, the mindset, right? What is that one thing that I should focus on? So I start my business today, I'm running e-commerce and think global, okay, so I have this vision to go far, maybe to export to other countries right now. Then what should I first focus on? What's the first thing I should look at to get my first foot closer into this global dream?
Start off with, I think in any business also, you understand very well, it's just the same like driving a car. You need to learn, you need to get license, then you go and drive. Similar in business also, feel that before you going outside, or even before you start business also, make sure you have your brand patented, that all registered and so on. Certification. I mean, in your mind, you must have, at the end, it's all about going for global. So start off with all these basic right first. Yeah? No point of you starting the business without even registering your trademark and so on. By the time you go there, people already take your brand and so on, then you have to start all over again. So it's always something that basic that you need to be done first. Again, the registration of your trademark brand and so on.
Great. Since you brought that up, right, maybe you can just share with us a little bit on how does MATRADE actually have certain elements or programs or things to actually help companies achieve this, whether it's on a patent side or even one of the questions I put up was actually to even help local manufacturers here to even ship out their products. In what extent MATRADE comes in to assist businesses to go from local to global?
Okay, we have many programs. The one that is very common, I think, for many Malaysian companies is on our grant. You're talking about market development grant, yeah, whereby our grant is always talking about in terms of getting you to go into the international market through participation in exhibition, participation in trade mission, and so on. But apart from that, we have lots of advisory services, yeah, whereby now we have 46 offices around the world, where this is the place where you can get, before you really plan your trip for overseas, make full use of our offices there. You can always inquire them, or even before you go there, for example, you have certain product or services that you want to promote in that country, just use our office, get them to introduce you to the potential buyers in that country. So this is the advantage that we have, because our people on the ground, they are Malaysian, they understand our business culture, and then they understand the culture on the other part of the world. Yeah? So what they can do, being on the ground, certainly they have a good contacts, database of potential buyers, importers, and so on. Make full use of them, and then apart from that, in terms of participation in any exhibition that we participated, certainly I mentioned just now about that grant. We also have few customized program, yeah, whereby those companies who are in our customers program, certainly they have, in terms of exposure, much more exposure. But certainly get to know MATRADE first. Yeah? For those of you who have yet to register MATRADE, register MATRADE, because once you register, you will learn a lot in terms of what are the other services that are being offered by MATRADE. We even have some seminar, just half day, talking about MATRADE services. So in this short time, I don't think we can elaborate more on that, but then we can even talk about even one day, talking about what else in MATRADE. Yeah? Right.
So, I make an example. So just remember, when you're driving a car, MATRADE is a petrol station. Come in sometime to have check in some fuel, grab a coffee, like always come back.
And we can just access the website, and if you want to get connected with the officers, you can just write in via email. Great. So
I think
that's your
the one
entry
thing I
point.
just want to add to MATRADE, because currently Exabytes also work closely with Alibaba, and through the MATRADE, we call e-trade program. And e-trade program is more for manufacturers and also traders that manufacture the product in Malaysia. So if you are really would like to go global, the first thing you need to know about e-trade program, right? But yeah, e-trade program is about 5,000 ringgit, and then through Exabytes we can help you, and then we can help you guys to start listing on Alibaba.com. And the subsidy that the government are giving out to all of the SME. And this is something that I think you guys can know, and you can search right now, e-trade program, and you can know immediately that whether you're eligible or not. Yeah. If you need more questions, you can ask for MATRADE or you can ask Exabytes. We also can help you. We also can give you kind of information, because MATRADE also gave us this, because we give back to you all. Yeah. Thanks.
One of the biggest problems, I'm sure, especially to OXWHITE and so in Cytron, right, is that there's a lot of back-end processes to actually think of logistics, the production of things, the organization of the entire supply chain. Particularly for you, I mean, you produce actually, it's not something where everybody buy, right? Your market's quite niche. It's electronic parts for people that like to build stuff. So how did you even get into this, and what parameters have you placed throughout the supply chain to ensure you're able to meet the supply and to do all of that?
Okay, yeah, we actually do very niche. And then the things that we do, not many people are interested in. So when we actually started, we need to control everything. We make our own boards. We do all the design. We design the boards, then we make the boards, then we sell the box. Then even the box, everything, we have to do everything from zero to everything. So when you ask me whether when you want to scale it, so because we have already been doing that for for a very long time. So we actually scale slowly. We're not saying that yesterday we just started and today, okay, we want to scale straight away to go global. It's not possible because for the skill that we learn, actually we have changed a lot. From day one until now, we have already changed a few factories, or we changed many machines, and all the things have already improved on the skills and all those. So in order to scale, to go to global for us, we really need time. We really need time to learn and slowly scale. Maybe yours is a bit different.
I think for e-commerce backend, right, how to set up, I think the key thing is the whole structure planning. For all the products, right, for us, like I shared in the session just now, we produce in Indonesia and China, fulfill in Malaysia and Shenzhen, and the money go to Singapore. And if you want to go even further, we don't do our own fulfillment center, we outsource because reduce the moving parts. So I have one friend doing $6 million USD in Malaysia, which is 2 years younger than me. The guy is incredible. I just have a drink with him last night. So how he did is pretty amazing. He fulfilled in Shenzhen, the call centers, marketing, customer service in Malaysia, product fulfill in go to US, then go to PayPal, pay to Singapore, and pay some little money to a call center in Malaysia. Customer service half in Malaysia, half in Vietnam. So this is how the allocation and the strategy, like how you solve your backend for the full scalable business. Instead of everything, build your own fulfillment center, everything your own. So I think it's the structures, how you structure think 1 million first and think 10 million USD, like how you structure these whole things. Yeah, outsource.
So for OXWHITE specifically, right, I mean, I think everybody kind of knows the story. When you launched, you had massive amount of orders, right? So what was the logistics that you actually need to deal with? Because I'm sure back then the fulfillment process is very different right now and from your day one, right? So what was that nightmare and how did you tweak it up? I think I would like to hear from you later as well.
Luckily, we are pre-orders. We can have 3 months preparation.
Okay, so that's one trick, yeah?
I think is, first of all, we are not really a large order compared with a lot of big players in the market. So just enough orders. But how we solve it is one principle, which is we do not do it our own, which is if this thing is not our competitive advantage. I told my team, do not do it if this is not our advantage. So we outsource to Awesome Fulfillments, ALLSOME, which is their cross-border between China and Malaysia. And so, yeah, Awesome Fulfillment. After that, we have a new partner, which is Near You Fulfillments. Everything outsourced. One parcel around 1 ringgit. One item is a 1.5 ringgit. Okay. So if 2 items, which is like around 3-4 ringgit per parcel plus delivery, everything outsourced. Try to outsource everything and plug into our Shopify store. So they're full scalable. If you have 1,000 orders, they can fulfill.
All right. For Phang?
We are more old style. Maybe like you are a bit modern. To me, I see that you are a bit modern. We are old style, whereby we still do everything by ourselves. Maybe our case is different because yours you can outsource it over to Shenzhen, but for us we can't because our volume is not big, and then another thing is that we need to control all our design and qualities, so we need to do it in-house. And for fulfillment and logistic, just now Jen was asking, we are still using very conventional. We use FedEx. We send it parcel by parcel, every single one of it. And we also rely on distributors because we have distributors all over the world. And mainly we are distributing through them instead of we sending it out to all the countries. So we can actually expand to all those countries very fast because through the distributors, we actually grow them together with us.
What are some of these e-commerce tools that you have used that has helped you go from local to global? I mean, you mentioned Shopify very briefly earlier. For you, do you use any tools that help as well?
We actually use Amazon.
Okay.
We use Amazon US, Amazon in Euro, and then we tried eBay in Australia. And then mainly we tried to go by ourselves. We do Facebook ads in those countries.
Okay.
We place Facebook ads but mainly in Southeast Asia. We tried it in Thailand and Singapore. Mainly we do the Facebook ads.
I mean, over to New, right? I mean, you mentioned earlier that through Exabytes Digital, there are quite a number of support, and then you mentioned a little bit about your partnership with Alibaba and all that. So are there any tools or services that you would also recommend to help companies go from local to global?
Yeah, indeed, we do have a lot of platforms and tools, but depends on your company structure, your company direction, whether you want to target B2C or B2B. Because nowadays, like Lazada, we have Lazada, we have Shopee, we have eBay, we have Amazon, but they are very B2C basis. If you want to sales to end consumer, it's okay. But let's say you are a manufacturer, or you also have a product, or you even import your product, and then you put in your license warehouse or even the warehouse, and then when you want to repackaging the brand, then you want to export out, also okay. And if you do like that, and you want to start e-commerce, or you want to doing the B2B, mean export out to, from Malaysia, you also can use Alibaba.com, right? So how many of you heard of the FTZX? How many of you heard of the FTZX? Just a few. Actually, that is the thing. I think Mr. Halim also know, because we got the FTZ also. Why? Because Alibaba.com, Alibaba worked with our government, and we got the DFTZ. Why? All the clearance through custom, we go to the DFTZ, so they can capture your orders, because Alibaba also a guarantor for that. But this is a B2B platform. If you want to go global, of course, first thing you can think of, the only B2B platform now is quite popular in Alibaba. We do have a lot of like printing company, machineries, even like coffee, 3-in-1. Have many of you heard of Durian White Coffee? They also actually create the Durian White Coffee because of China demand, because they create that brand out of the search demand there. Actually, you guys can use the search trend, or you also can use the Alibaba.com, can see all the search demand, what kind of product they demand out there, and whether your product really have that kind of, that you can supply or not. And we have a lot of platforms that can support you guys. Within Exabytes, we also can help you guys with how to plan B2C or B2B campaign through digital journey. Yeah.
And how can they get in touch for help like that? Where do they find such services?
Yes, because in Exabytes Digital itself, we run a workshop now monthly. We do training, we do workshop, and especially for Northern region first. Why? Because like us, before you want to go global, you need to know how to do well in local market. Am I right? So for us, we want to help the whole Malaysia. The first thing, we need to help Northern region because we are based in Penang. And Penang, a lot of manufacturers and traders.
We also need help in central region.
Yes, then slowly we move over to KL.
Yeah, JB also, right? Yeah, we all need help.
Yes. Digital campaign, we all help client. Actually, 70 to 80% of our digital client are from KL, Klang Valley.
But interesting, just now you mentioned DFDZ, right? What is MATRADE's role in DFDZ? Can companies tap into MATRADE support or advisory even to how to go about this whole DFDZ thing? Because I think quite a number of us will probably have heard of this thing before. It's supposed to help us, but we don't know how it will help and what should we do.
Okay, I think very much talking about the FTZ, certainly like MDEC is the one that is only championing on that part. But then MATRADE, we work closely with MDEC in terms of, as far as e-commerce is concerned, onboarding Malaysian companies to go into e-commerce through our e-trade program. I'm sure my colleague just now have presented about how e-trade, you can use that facility to go into e-commerce. Basically, we wanted to get as many Malaysian companies to go for export through e-commerce. What we have been doing all this while is assisting Malaysian companies to export. We just stopped at that in the past, no? But then now with the e-commerce evolution, certainly we wanted to develop a new, I would say, new bridge going for export through e-commerce. That's where the e-trade incentive came in, with the hope that with that assistance will help you to get listed on all the e-marketplaces which we have identified, and it gives you at least a trial period of 1 year. The government pays for you to get listed on that one, with the hope that once you get through 1 year, you learn a lot about how to go into e-commerce and so on without putting up your own money. So this is the small step that we started the last few years, and we are hoping that we can continue with this, or maybe a better incentive or assistance going forward in the next RMK going forward. Yeah.
At the same time, I think you've also been advising a lot of companies that's trying to go global as well, right? What are the common mistakes you've seen in these Malaysian businesses when they approach MATRADE? What are things that should have done better, you think?
I think one common thing is about the mentality of wanted to have a shortcut. Yeah? When you talk about going global or even to start a business, certainly the common thing that came to MATRADE, they wanted to say, okay, I wanted to join a trade exhibition overseas. Of course, MATRADE do participate in a lot of exhibition, but then for you to go, to us, that is considered almost your final step. But the first few beginning steps, talking about the market or desk research, this is the part that normally our companies would like to skip. No? But this is very important. That is the reason why in MATRADE, we spend close to $1 million a year just to pay for the subscription fee to the online information. We're not talking the information from Google. We are talking about information from EIA, WTA, Trade Atlas, Euromonitor. So these are all paid information which you can use in our, we call it Business Information Center, or commonly it's a library. I would say like this is the information that which you cannot find anywhere in other library in Malaysia, because this is very focused on trade information. So information about, for example, your particular product in certain market, who are your competitor, what would be the price range, what the packaging that you should use, who are the possible client in that country. So those are the information that you need to know first. Yeah, talking about what would be the logistic cost estimated. So this information, very important, because it will get you more prepared when you go for exhibition, meeting with your potential buyer, then you can answer confidently. And we notice in many trade events that we bring Malaysian companies there. So these are the basic things which we feel that you should fulfill first. Use the time, spend the time to do a bit of research, desk research, use the information in MATRADE and so on. I know some companies are willing to spend in terms of paying for consultant to do it. But to me, these are the information that which you can get on your own. Go for MATRADE library. I'm sure you'll be impressed with the information that we have. We have a trained librarian who can teach you how to use that information. Nowadays, everything is quite simple, how to get the information, unlike those days where you have to rely on the information from the newspaper and so on. But now you have information which you cannot get in the public domain. But since we are paying for that one, then this is the information. So every year, we notice that whenever we wanted to renew the subscription fee, and when we compare with the usage rate, it's very low. So we feel like, should we pay or should we just discontinue? But then, since all this while, we have been paying, and we wanted to have more of usage of this information, and treat this market research is something that first thing that you must do, so that you are more prepared when you're going for globally.
Sure.
Yeah?
We have only about 1 minute on the clock. So maybe starting from you, just very quickly, just gives us, like, all of us here, just one last piece of advice for companies to go global. And then we'll take turns. So you have like 20 seconds each, and that's about it.
I believe here are e-commerce customers. So you all have to think like whether your domains are ready for global. Just now talk trademark. So domain, websites, and all the website, whether it's an e-commerce website, SEO ready, and do you have any place that they can find you online? Social media, LinkedIn? These are the basic things that you need to start first for all the startup and SME in, I think in this whole majority of SME clients. Yeah.
Phang?
I think that you have to know what are the methods for you to reach out to the customers globally. Because maybe you have been doing it locally and you have a method. So is that possible to duplicate and use it internationally, globally? If yes, then please go ahead and go to the global market.
Cool.
Okay. There are a lot of assistance provided by the government through various ministries. So my advice is don't stop exploring, ask questions, attend this type of event, ask questions, networking with each other. You will find out there are a lot of things that are being offered. Yeah? So if your question would be, where would be one place that I can go, that I can know everything, there is none. Everything is scattered, but there are. Yeah?
ZiKang?
Imagine yourself in Singapore, really. Malaysia is too comfortable, the populations. But imagine yourself in Singapore. The only one thing is go global. That's it. So believe on that, then do it. And one summary is check out MATRADE first.
All right, that's all we have for this session. Thank you very much. Let's just give a round of applause to this awesome panel.